Good morning. Grab some coffee. I blurred everything else in the background. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to our returning subscribers and viewers, and welcome to the newbies, the ones that are just checking in, see what's going on. I'm Cathy. This channel is Snap Vegan ish, and today my subscribers, I gave you a little update on Patty's breast cancer, and um, there's more details to share. So thank you for caring and watching, and for those that who are not here, who will be here. So you got the update yesterday about her cancer. Um, it's gone. Okay, she had her mastectomy, and all the margins were good. There were no lymph nodes involved. However, as we discussed before, the biopsy said it was tubular lobular cancer, which does not respond to chemo. But the surgical pathology report said is a non-specific breast cancer, and it is ductal. And that's just like she had on the left side. So because her heart is in decline, she can't have chemo or radiation. This past Friday, she had a pretty bad tummy episode, and made her a little bit weak, a lot weak. And she referred to it in the update video yesterday. But starting Saturday or Sunday, she started getting real short of breath. And she thought it was fluid buildup. And her ankles weren't swollen. Nothing else was swollen, but she took another water pill. And but that did not increase her trips to the bathroom. So she just, extremely short of breath. Like, just real short of breath. And we had an appointment with the heart failure clinic on the 15th of November, but I called. I called yesterday because it was getting worse, and her short of breath was worse, even with her using her walker. So I called the heart failure clinic yesterday, and got in right away. So what we learned there is quite extensive and it's quite lengthy. So you can either hang in there or not, come back, review it, but this is going to be a fairly long one. So grab your coffee is all I got to say. And I've already made the report to her family, and I had to do that before I could come on here and tell you what was going on. Now, we all know and love Patty. You know, her bubbly spirit and her lovely countenance and her good sense of humor. And, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Somebody get that T-shirt on Temu in a 2X. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Send it to Patty. So anyway, we get into the doctor's office and we describe what's going on. And they did an EKG on her because at first they thought she might have been in AFib. Now, she had an ablation done to her heart not too long ago that was supposed to stop AFib. So naturally, I questioned that, and they said, well, sometimes it don't stick. I'm like, okay. But she was not in AFib. Her heart rate was very fast, and she has a pacemaker, which is supposed to pace that better, and so that's a question. Turns out her heart has declined. And she asked the question, did the surgery or the mastectomy accelerate that any? And he said, well, although anytime you have surgery, it's kind of a shock to your system or whatever. The surgical report is you had no anomalies during surgery. Everything went smooth. Heart, blood pressure, heart, everything was smooth while they were doing it. It was managed well. And so, yeah, the healing factor might make you feel uncomfortable a little bit, but no, it's your heart and it's declining. So before she was in level D, and as I explained before, heart failure, level D. Heart failure is levels A, B, C, D. And within D, which is like the last stage of heart failure, there are 6 levels. 6 is the best of the worst, okay? And then it goes to 1, which is the worst of the worst. And Patty was at 3 when they put that infusion in her chest to get the heart medicine in her chest. It's called Melorone, something like that. And so now they suspect she's at a level 1.5 or 2. And that's a pretty rapid decline from 3 months ago. So what they're going to do is they are going to do a heart cath again in her neck, just like before, to see the right side of her chest, which is where they can look down and see everything, just like they did last time. And then they're going to admit her for 3 days. Now, since she has had cancer in the last 5 years, she is not a candidate for a heart transplant. And depending on what he sees on Tuesday, is this scenario here. The heart can be declined, but still a good candidate for a heart pump, which is called an LVAD. I'll type that in here in the chat box. LVAD. Okay? And that is a left ventricular assisted device. Okay. And so what that does, okay, so you know what a heart looks like, right? So picture it from your own perspective. Now, everything I'm showing you is going to be mirrored. It's going to look opposite to you probably. This is my right side. This is my left side. The LVAD goes in the very, you know how the bottom of the heart is rounded and kind of a little bit curved to the side there. At the very bottom of that is the left ventricle. The pump goes at the bottom of that, and a hose comes from it and goes up into the right ventricle, and it pumps, and that keeps the blood circulating in her body because her heart is becoming too weak to do its own job. So there is a tube that comes out the bottom of this thing that goes outside of her body and attaches to an external pump or external power pack that powers the unit. So it's not like what we thought. We thought it was the size of a $50 and it had an internal battery and it would do its own thing, but that's not what it is. So if her heart is in good enough shape for that, when he sees it on Tuesday, Halloween, he's going to start the evaluation process for that LVAD right away. And he's going to put her in the hospital for 3 days and have that evaluation team come to her in the hospital because she's going to have a head-to-toe scan, lots of blood work. There's a lot of evaluation that goes into getting one of these things. just like it would if you were to get a heart transplant. There's certain criteria you have to meet, and things have to be a certain way. And right now, her blood looks good. Her blood looks real good. And so, um, and if she is a candidate and they do the evaluation, there is extensive training. So they may extend her hospital stay to include that training to get it while she's there. And because there's a lot going on with her infusion now, she has to change it out every day at 10 o'clock. She's doing it right now, matter of fact. And so there's still a lot of maintenance to do with this heart pump too. So these battery packs look like a cartridge, like a mini 8-track little mini cartridge, plugs into a power charger. And then that battery lasts for about 8 to 10 hours. But at night, she has to actually plug into a wall to keep that thing going overnight. So there's a lot of training involved. One of the questions is her dementia going to allow her to stay sharp on that and not screw it up? Aides that she has, the caregivers that she has, and they can't mess with that thing. They can't do that. Their credentials don't cover that. And there's still a question out there as to if, Lutheran home health nurses would come in, because the exit place from when the hose leaves the body and goes to that pump, that has to be cleaned, sterilized every single day. Every single day. It has to be sterile, like operating room sterile. And so will her dementia advance to a point to where she can't manage that? And will Lutheran Home Health provide nurses to come do it for her? So those are the scenarios if she is a candidate for it when he sees the heart itself on Tuesday. If she is not a candidate for it and her heart has declined past the point to where a heart pump could be put in, they will manage her on medications and nothing can be done. So they said that she was at a fork in the road, that he knows that she just had a mastectomy. She's had a lot of surgeries. This will entail open heart surgery to put this LVAD in, and that the recuperation time for that is lengthy. And the fork in the road is, you have to be all in on this LVAD and dedicated to do what it takes to maintain it and everything else. The other option is, to do nothing and say, I've had enough surgeries, I'm not going to do anything else, and then be maintained on pills for however long. And she says, yeah, I'm in on the pump. Let's do the pump. I want to live. Okay. Now, I asked the question, without the pump, what's the prognosis? And he said that you can take a group of 100 people that are on the same heart infusion pump that she's on at home with that same medicine. So you got 100 people doing the same thing Patty's doing right now. And only 20 of them will live up to a year. And she's already 3 months into that year. And so that means even in the best circumstances, there's a point to where he can increase that medicine, which they have to do. They've already increased it to 0.3. She was at 0.25 milligrams, and now she's at 0.3. He said there will be a time to where that medicine will no longer work at home. And that's when she told him that she wants hospice at home. She does not want to go to a nursing home. If she can't be in the hospital to get the treatment she needs or whatever, she does not want a nursing home. She wants to be in the hospital for any kind of rehab she has to do, and then she wants to come home. And he said to her that we would cross that bridge when we got to it. And right now, the bridge we're trying to cross is to get a pump and evaluate for a pump. So I had to leave the room, a couple times. And I said, can we just take a break just a minute? Because she just had that put in. And they don't give her anesthesia. And they just put a camera down her vein. And it comes out. And then he can see the heart and everything else. And that's without anesthesia. So she's got pressure there. She's still got stitches. Well, she's getting her stitches out tomorrow from the mastectomy. And she's got a drain in there. And they'll probably be taking that drain out tomorrow too. On the optimistic side, they may not, but she's not draining much now, so we'll see what Dr. Stevens said. And I just asked him, is there any way you can make sure that she doesn't feel that? Because my God, she just felt so much already. And he said, yeah, I can do that. So, like, okay. And then I had to leave the room a minute. And so Patty tells me later that she thinks that's her dementia, but she could not keep up with what they were saying. She says at one point it was like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. And I said, yeah, because you were hearing some things that were hard to hear. And I noticed during a period of time that he was talking that she was just in the zone. She was just flat affect and just, in the zone. That's what I call it. And then I stopped. I asked him to stop, and I said, can you speak slower? Excuse me, can you speak slower? And look at her. Don't look at me. Look at her. And then you need to ask her if she understands what you're saying. And she kept saying, well, is this the fluid that's making this happen? He says, no. He says, actually, you don't have any buildup of fluid. He says, you need to stop taking that water pill. You're drying your heart out. And so he talked about what he told her before, is that when he went up there for the cath 3 months ago, where she thought it was fluid buildup, and she had increased her torsamide or Lasix or whatever it is, and that it wasn't. Sign of heart failure is when people cough a lot, and get weak and short of breath. Well, she thought that was fluid buildup, and but anyway, so he told her no, it was not fluid. It was the natural decline of the process of heart failure. And so she says, so without the pump, I've only got 9 months to live? He said 20 people out of 100 live up to a year, Patty. She said, so I could go before. He said, you could go at any time. But we're going to do our best not to make that sure that don't happen. I'm trying to think of what other questions she had for him. But I'm giving you an abbreviated version, honestly, because it was a 3.5 hour long conference with 2 doctors. And they had just conferenced with her pulmonary doctor, her regular cardiology, the electrophysiology, the guy that's in charge of the pacemaker. They had conferenced with her cancer doctor. And everybody had a little bit powwow. And so 2 of them come back in here to tell us what was what. And I says, the big contradiction in all of this is she refused to see Patty. And y'all know Patty. She's perky and funny and got an always positive attitude and all of that. And then, only because I've known her so long do I know that that's a facade. She has her moments. Who wouldn't? Of, like solid contemplation about what's about to happen. And she's accepted it and vows to do the best she can do until that happens. So I thought I had Kleenex in here, but I don't. We'll know what we can do on Tuesday. If he looks and sees that her heart's still good enough to get that LVAD put in, that's what he's going to do. And it's my opinion, because I don't know, if she's a candidate. He said we have a slippy time slope here. If he sees that she can do it, it needs to be done right away. As soon as the evaluation team signs off on it, it needs to be done. So that means she's going to be in the hospital longer, possibly a month. Once they get that in, get her healed up, she'll have to do some cardiac rehab in the hospital before she comes home, because she says she will not go to another nursing home. So, and I don't blame her, because they treated her like shit. And they only gave her a bath when I absolutely demanded it and started screaming in the fucking in the hallways. So I went and got a pan and washcloth and did it myself, because dignity is very important. In those nursing homes, they'll clean you maybe once a week. But they're not my Patty, not my friend. My friend's going to have her dignity every day of the freaking week. And if she needs a sponge bath to get the hospital fuck off her every day, that's what she's going to get. You understand what I'm saying? So, at least at home, she has aides that care about her and she trusts them. And they can give her a sponge bath in bed, or they can help her in the shower and protect that equipment so it don't get wet, and give her a shower and wash her hair and everything else. Shave her legs, whatever she wants. She wants a freaking bikini wax, we'll do that too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think she'd want one though. Get the dog clippers for that. But anyway, oh gosh, but we're gonna make sure Patty has her dignity. So now she gets this heart pump put in. You will see, if you Google that or search for LVAD, what I typed in the chat box, if you look for that on YouTube, you can see people's stories about before and after an LVAD, and it's amazing the difference. People that couldn't even walk up the steps, couldn't even hardly, so short of breath, they just, it was awful. And then they had that put in, and now they're walking steps, walking around the yard, walking their dogs, being active. One guy plays in a band and they do gigs, and everything's changed. Don't need an aid at all. It's just like a super breath of life has just been been breathed into you. And so, man, won't that be great for her if we could get that? I pray she gets that. Because we got some things to do, people to see, places to go. Because now she can't travel. If she gets that LVAD, we're going to the beach. The GoFundMe. There's a GoFundMe for Patty, and now that we know what we know, she wants to go to the beach, and that's where she's going to go. I need the money to do it, of course. And for that, we're talking a rental car for a week and a half. We're talking a hotel for a week and a half, or a week and 2 days. We're talking, because it takes it would take us 2 days to, even though the closest beach, my hometown, would be, like 10 hours away, we'd have to take breaks, of course, and maybe cut that up in 2 days because I'm old too. We'd have to drive a little bit, stop, rest, get something to eat, spend the night, carry on. We can't rush this trip. I mean, I'm not any speed demon, but I am a good driver. Never had a ticket, never had an accident. So, we got to get Patty to the beach. We really need to pay off the funeral debt. And now she's already paid into it. She's already paid into it to the tune of about $7,000. I'd like to see Patty get her money back for that. And so that's part of the GoFundMe too, to recoup her debt that she's having to pay, because she deserves that. I mean, she's good with money. She's not irresponsible. She's been responsible. And, as the smallest of rewards we could possibly arrange for her is to have her recoup that debt. So that's about $7,000. And then the trip to the beach, and that's her last. She said that's the last on her bucket list. We can't quite make it to Jacksonville because Jacksonville, Florida, is where her sister lives, and it's full of COVID. And nobody there is vaccinated, and she is not, and I will not drive her into that. So we're going to go where we know she can be safely. We're not going into crowds, but her family don't COVID vaccinate either, so we're not going into that. They're coming to see her. They're coming to see her sometime before Thanksgiving, I hope. I talked to them last night. They were planning on coming the first week in November. Then they changed it to the 2nd. Then they changed it to the 3rd. So I told them last night, I said, you want to see your sister? I would choose sooner than later, because we don't know what's going to happen. We're not going to know what he finds on Tuesday. If he finds that she can have it, well, then, yeah, wow, she's got a whole new breath of life coming her way. If she finds that her heart declined that fast to the point of where it's not possible, the clock is ticking. Patty's got, he said, 9 months right now, and possibly less if there's no heart pump involved. So if you've never tried to price a funeral, go try it. This is a cremation. She wants a 3-hour viewing, and the 4th hour is just for people to get up and say what they want without going into the expense of renting the chapel. Right now, to rent a casket for a 4-hour viewing is like $3,000. I'm like, you're out of your mind. Are you serious? So anyway, after that, she goes to be cremated, and then half of her goes to her sister. The other half goes into the Atlantic, where her nephew is, to be joined with him. Anyway, I made the last bucket list thing happen, and that was for her to go ride a horse again. We did that on her birthday, remember? We did that before she had her open heart surgery. That was on her bucket list. So I made that happen. And so I'm going to need your help to make the rest of it happen. I'm spent. I am loaned out. I can't take another loan. I've done everything that I could possibly do for her within my ability as far as bucket list things go and things, but I'm spent. I am loaned out to where even I only have like $60 a month of expendable money, and everything else is going to loans that I'm having to pay off for things I had to take a loan out to do for me and her, during COVID and beyond. So I'm going to need your help. I'm just going to ask. So I'll after this video goes up, I'll edit. Well, wait a minute. Let me see if I can. Find it over here. Hold on. I'm gonna look away just a minute. Now let's see. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. I'll see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see. Where's the link? Nope. Hold on a minute. Copy. Okay, this is the link to the GoFundMe video. And in that description box is the link to her GoFundMe for everything that I just mentioned. We wanted to replace her. Mattress so she doesn't get bed sores. But the expense versus the time possibly used, thinking in practical terms, would not, wouldn't be feasible. So now we're going to refocus our efforts on recouping what she's paid into her funeral, which is $7,000, and making that bucket list trip to the beach happen in the spring, if we have her in the spring. And if not, it'll go to her final expenses and the rest of her final expenses. So anyway, that's it. We find out on Tuesday where what road the travel takes us from here. She is still I just went and saw her this morning at 9 o'clock. She's good. She slept okay last night. Before she went to bed, I went over there and told her that I had conference with her family, and that, when the doctor said, of 100 people that have this same pump and medicine as Patty, only 20 of them live to a year. I'm like, they don't know Patty. They don't know Patty like we know Patty, because she is a fighter, man. She has been through so much and come out the other end just so strong. So we've got this, the cancer's gone. That's done. And that was just 2 weeks ago, folks. 2 weeks ago Wednesday, when she had her mastectomy, her second mastectomy. So I am asking for your help. Tell your friends, anybody you know. I don't care if it's $10, $5, $5,000. I don't care. Whatever you can do. This is, our big Hail Mary for Patty. We know the facts. We know what's going on. And, y'all pitch in and what have you. And she gets that LVAD, man. It's going to make a big difference in her life. So that's about as detailed as I can get for you today on what happened and what is happening. Patty right now is really weak. She is on complete rest until Tuesday, so she doesn't further strain her heart until the procedure. And she's being well taken care of. She has aides. I'm 2 doors down. They need me. They call me. I'll, you know, I'll, I'm doing as much as I can do. And I'm glad that you guys have got to I'm glad my subscribers have gotten to meet and know Patty and like her personality and look forward to when she's on my videos with me. She said yesterday, we need to do some more crazy videos. I was like, we got a bag waiting right here from Maryland, from Timu. We're going to do that. I'm like, yes, we are. So I'm so grateful y'all got to meet her and know her and care about her. She has blessed my life as my friend. And I hope that a little bit of joy she might have brought you in these videos that we've done has brought a smile to your face too. So that's all I got. There's the link in the chat for the GoFundMe for Patty. Like I said, if you want to do it under the radar without fees, you can always just send it to me in the address in the description box, and it'll go where it needs to go. So love you all. And Judy's Journey, thank you for joining us today. Let me see who else was here. Pam, Marilyn. Thank you all for being here today. Let me read your comments now. Yes, funerals are expensive. Yes, my sister wanted to see me before she died, and I didn't have the money to go. And she didn't have the money to get me there. And now I have to live every day, with that. And it's hard. Because she told me on the phone, all I want before I die is to see my sister. And I couldn't do it. I was broke. I didn't have the money. And I didn't have credit. And I just couldn't do it. And so now my nieces, her daughters, have never spoken to me since. I've lost a whole family tree there because I couldn't go to her funeral because I was broke. And people don't understand what that's like. They won't speak to me now. And they're my favorite nieces. Kelly's my favorite niece, and Michelle and all them, and they won't even speak to me. They haven't spoken to me since I said I couldn't go. So it's I see that lady Pam. Pam's gaming. I knew who you were, Pam. Moxie. I know. So Marilyn, we've got a bag here. I think for right now, while she's in flux, we can maybe, put a hold until she comes back home. Or, if you see, do what you want to do. But I know you understand if we can't get to the video right away. Hell, we'll do it from the hospital if we have to, girlfriend. You know us. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. And if you came in late, I want to thank my new subscribers, thank my OGs, my Team Snap. And if you're new to the channel and just joining in and you have a similar journey with breast cancer or heart failure, our prayers are with you and your family. I know what you're going through. It's difficult. It's a difficult path to navigate. And just know that you're not alone. That's very important to know you're not alone. I'm grateful I have my YouTube family here, my subscribers that always come in and help out and support and offer me a girl or a prayer. So share this video with your friends or just in general. And, if you want to put a heading on it, you can put, "This is how the other half lives." So people will know. I'm so grateful and thankful for Obamacare. That's right. That's what saved my friend's life and mine. So if anybody got any problem with that, don't even talk to me about it, because it will instantly bring out my claws. And that's all I got to say. Love y'all. I've said that a few times now. I'm here 40 minutes now. But anyway, please go visit that link and do what you're able to. I will be updating that GoFundMe page to include this video today. And as soon as it gets processed and I get a link and everything else. So now you've got the cancer update, and now you have, in a very short period of time, a very extreme turn south on the heart failure issue. And I'm kind of busy with all of that. So if you don't see a video here and there or whatever, you know what's going on, and I'll try to keep you updated as much as possible. But God love you. God bless you all. And thanks for being here with me this morning. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Love you all.